going on, Jerome's? So every single year on every single team, there's players that just bust out randomly, just have phenomenal seasons, and it could be a one-off or it could be a sign of things to come. And we put it out to you, the people, the Jeromes. Who is your surprise star for the 2024 Vikings? For me, King Kene Nwangu, who will lead the NFL in kick return average, take 3 kicks to the house, and be named first-team All-Pro kick returner. I think that one of the greatest beneficiaries of the modified kick return rules is King Kene Nwangu. I think that Kene, in a contract year too, is just going to bust out and be a true blue superstar like he's been throughout his first couple of years. I truly believe that. I think Coach Daniels is salivating on the idea of having King Kene having 3, 4, 5 true returns a game. It's going to be great, man. It's going to be glorious. But I just want to run through some of these because there's some really good ones. Now, we filtered through and took out some of the repeats, but, I mean, these are good. Code Expert. Oh, nailed it. Shaq Griffin will lead the NFC North in interceptions, which will be good. I mean, Shaq Griffin was a Pro Bowler in 2019, and he's got the inside track to start at one of the cornerback spots. And, I mean, hell, what's going to lead the North? 5, 6? Could get it done. Supercore Jaquelin Roy Kent has a solid season and earned starting time. I think that certainly is possible and plausible, especially since, I mean, the Vikings, Phillips is fantastic, but in terms of a consistent interior pass rush, don't have that. And Jaquelin Roy was drafted to be that, and hopefully he can do that in year 2. Next, Kaz. I think Brandon Powell has a huge potential to grow and show as wide receiver 3. Absolutely. I think that he does have the inside track to be that third receiver. I think that skill set wise, like he does bring something to the slot. Kevin O'Connell obviously loves and has a lot of trust in him, and I think that he can be that sort of gadgety wide receiver 3, also working from the slot and be of value on this offense. Angry Nude. I'm just hoping Dwight McLaughlin gets a few snaps to show what he's got. It's clear he's been putting in the work. A solid season of key passes defended and a few picks would be enough to surprise the media, hopefully. So McLaughlin, who was initially at LSU and then went on to star at Arkansas. So went undrafted because he didn't check all the boxes physically, but stylistically, like he does fit in with what the Vikings want to do. He's been putting in the work after practice with Murphy Jr., and I think that he's a guy that, I mean, he may be on the practice squad for a year, but I think that he's definitely a guy that they like as a UDFA and a guy who can contribute at the NFL level in a significant way. Next, Ball Fonzie. Andre Kata the second, hopefully with a full year to train, we'll see some flashes from him this season. Yeah, and we talked about how growing and showing into an NFL body versus being an academy cadet body, and Carter's putting in that work at TCO, and even though the edge rushing room is pretty flooded with talent, with AVG, Grenard, Diamond Dallas Turner, Pat Jones, Gabriel Murphy. I mean, Carter II, like he does bring something interesting to the table as well. So I'm rooting for him. Next, Justin Rentmeester, Ivan Pace, first team All Pro. I kind of like it. Like it's spicy, and it's going to take a lot because there's such a backlog at the off-ball linebacker position. But I mean, if Pace comes in, puts up 130 tackles and 10 sacks, I mean, it's going to be hard to ignore him, man. Josh Andrews, Darnold will be in the MVP and or comeback player of the year conversation. 3,100 passing yards, 30 touchdowns, 12 picks, and a wild card berth. I kind of love it. And also, the whole thing is like, hey, you kind of believe it. Like Darnold, if he started for the full year, 3,100 passing yards. I mean, 4,000-yard passing seasons are a dime a dozen nowadays. If he goes 24-12, touchdown to interception ratio, that's very believable with Sam Darnold. Also running in for 6, like he is a plus athlete. So, I mean, you'll definitely take that. And I think that if and when the Vikings are pushing for the playoffs, I think Darnold should deserve a lot of credit, and maybe not comeback player of the year unless they change the guidelines again. But I mean, MVP isn't as far fetched as you would think. Like, could he end up top 10 in the MVP voting? Sure. Cody Pierce-Blackman will crack top 10 corners overall. I like it. Mekhi Blackman, the pride of USC, fighting on, getting things, man. Allegedly cool. Aaron Jones will have a better season than any of Dalvin Cook's. That's a large bar. I mean, when Dalvin was on, like he was on like almost 2,000 yards from scrimmage in given seasons, and like he was the man. Now, I don't think in aggregate Jones will put up the numbers because Jones has never been a full-time running back. Like, he's never been a bell cow, and I don't see that changing this year with Ty Chandler. But, I mean, he's going to be efficient, and he's going to put up numbers and be a factor. Tyler Johnson, guitar, OG. Cam Beasley, 6 picks on the year, 2 of which will be run back for touchdowns. I think that could put Beasley in the Pro Bowl / All-Pro conversation. Angel Dutz Sr., carry on my J-word, son, becomes special teams ace. Skull crazy. Yes, I could see that. He and Theo Jackson just doing some great things on that third phase. Ryan Wazada, my surprise star would be Ty Chandler. I think Ty Chandler has a chance to be a stud, and not just from like a stupid fantasy football perspective, but I mean, he's a home run hitter every time he touches the ball, 4.38 speed, and I think that he could be a lot of fun. Todd Welter, Jordan Addis is going to have over 1,200 yards this year and be an All-Pro. It's tough to be an All-Pro. I think he'd probably have to be flirting with 1,500, 1,600 yards to get into the All-Pro conversation, but, I mean, could he be in the Pro Bowl conversation? Yes. I think certainly could. The Zoom 2K, tired of giving up on players before they hit the moon. Lewis Seen. It's not out of the realm of possibility that things just click with Seen in training camp and he wrecks fools and he's stacking up bodies like he said he wanted to as a rookie. I mean, the odds are against him, but, I mean, sometimes the underdog comes through. I'm rooting for him. Like, I want him to do well. It's just really unfortunate about that broken leg. Is what it is. Drew Smith, Josh Metellus will be a first-team All-Pro with 4 interceptions and 5.5 sacks. That'd be spicy. I mean, Metellus, if he's up there, like 100-plus tackles, a couple forced fumbles, and just a do-it-all gadget player, like, that's the reason why they have that flex position now on the AP All-Pro defense, and Metellus would be it. Duke of Awesomeness, Beasley, he's just that guy. I wouldn't be surprised if he had 7-8 picks this year. I'd love to see it, because he had 5 last year, right? Or no, he had 3, but he dropped 2. Something like that. T-Money, N'Keal Harry is going to be a red zone threat, securing at least 5 touchdowns first 8 games, however long Hawk is out. Wouldn't that be something? N'Keal Harry, former wide receiver, former first-round pick by the Patriots back in the day, number 32 overall in 2019. Him shifting to tight end, putting on some good weight. He's at 240, so he's like 6'4", 6'5", 240. And just him just being a threat. Because too many people focus on what a player can't do versus what they can do. And N'Keal Harry in the red zone, yes, he would be a matchup nightmare. But is he going to be like a great inline blocker? Probably not, even though he is a solid blocker for a receiver. I mean, that transition from receiver to tight end, I mean, it is pretty stark. But, God, that would be great if he just randomly became Joseph Fourier. Do you remember him with the Lions? Like, he randomly had like 6 touchdowns in a season and then disappeared. Cheetah, Harry the Hitman will have 6 picks and 5 forced fumbles. Spicy. Sending him out with a Pro Bowl. Let's go. Skull, as a huge Iowa State fan, I'll love to see Kenny break out this year. He will, as a kick returner. And I want Harrison Phillips to lead the league in sacks. That would be hilarious. That would be funny. So, Harrison Phillips, I think his career high in sacks is like 5. But if he just randomly had a 19-sack season. Oh, man, I love it. Jeremy Mead, Turner with 17.5 sacks. That would be fantastic. And I think he certainly would be capable of, so averaging just over a sack a game. Yeah. Jay Proverse, Kyrie, because Ndamukong Suh averaged a sack a game for a couple years. Kyrie Jackson balls his way to starter and finalist for Defensive Rookie of the Year. I kind of like it. All right, so by hook or by crook, Kyrie Jackson gets out there and aggressive press man, which is exactly what Flores wants to do. And he bullies receivers. He has a couple of picks. He makes some big-time plays. He slices some meat, becomes a League of Legends professional again. Be good. Mark Cleveland. Gabriel Murphy makes the rooster. If not, I pick Evans. He has untapped potential. He can stop making mistakes, and he knows he has to compete with other cornerbacks to keep his job. And that's what's frustrating about Evans. Is it's not that he doesn't have the talent, and it's not that he can't put things together, right? So that's the frustration with Evans. I think that bleeds over to Flores' frustration with him too, because all the parts are there. Just can he put things together? Can he be focused and consistent? Can he get after things? And so I'm rooting for Evans. Murphy, I think Murphy's going to surprise a lot of people. So pretty fired up about Gabriel Murphy. But that's it. Random breakout star predictions for 2024. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull production value.